Hi, I'm Jane, and today we're going to talk about helping birds as they prepare to migrate south in the fall. There's a lot of things we can do to help them. So we're going to start with, at this time in the summertime, you might have had smaller feeders out, just because it's easier to keep them clean in the summer when they're smaller, but now's the time of year where you're going to think about putting out larger feeders. So what we're going to want to do before we put our feeders out is check them to make sure they don't need any maintenance done on them. You want to check for feeders such as this that the screws are all tightened, that there's no splinters on them, and you want to give your feeders a good cleaning again before the cold weather sets in. So again, going back to cleaning them with 1 part bleach, 9 parts hot water, letting them air dry completely. So that's the first thing that you want to do. The other thing you want to do to help birds as they're going south is offer food that's high in fat and calories. So they're going to really appreciate seed, like sunflower seed, peanut halves, and suet. These are all going to give them the energy that they need as they're making their way south. The other thing you don't want to forget to do is to keep your hummingbird feeder going. Hummingbirds can be in our area until October. So don't be taking them down at the end of August thinking they're gone. The hummingbirds that migrate from further north are going to be passing through our yards right up until almost Thanksgiving. So keep the nectar fresh for them. Another thing that tends to happen in the fall sometimes as the birds are passing through is window strikes. And we can avoid this by putting up window decals, such as this one. The birds see a very bright figure, whereas we just see an outline. They act like a giant stop sign for the birds so they don't hit our windows. Because a lot of bird strikes do happen during migration, especially on tall buildings, but we can do our part by putting up alerts such as these. Now, they need to go on the outside of your windows, not the inside, because the birds will still see the reflection of trees and whatnot in your windows. So make sure these go on the outside. The other thing we want to offer birds to continue to do in the fall is water. Make sure that your bird baths are full up to a depth of 2 inches. And birds are also attracted to movement of water. So by adding a bubbler rock, you can do a small bubbler like this that will float in your bird bath, or the Aquanura fountain. This will attract the birds, and they do prefer, a lot of the birds that are migrating, a bath that's closer to the ground. You'll see a lot more birds using this than you will a high standing fancier model. It's more practical and they feel safer. So that's what we can do as far as our feeders and our bird baths and our seed. There's a few other things we can do. This is where you get your chance to be a lazy gardener. Leave the flowers, seed heads on them, and so the birds can feed from them. And you don't necessarily need to get all the leaves raked up, because insects are attracted to leaves on the ground, and then in turn the birds can eat the insects. So it's a win-win situation. The other thing you might want to do is scatter some seed on the ground under leaf piles or bushes, and this lets birds like thrushes, catbirds, birds that are ground feeders, towhees, your white-crowned sparrow, white-throated sparrow, they can all eat all the seed that you've scattered on the ground for them. And last but not least, we really encourage you to keep your cats indoors, because migrating birds aren't used to your yard. They don't know if there's any dangers in it. So you want to make sure you keep your cats inside, and then everybody will be happy. So I hope you enjoyed this video today and found it helpful. If you have any questions at all, please contact us at support@urbannaturestore.ca, or you can visit our website also at urbannaturestore.ca.